The new site of America's original March Madness. We're experiencing the new March Madness here in the boys Class A quarterfinals. Game number 2, Rock Island Alleman against Macomb. Let's check in first on the visiting team, and they will be the Pioneers of Rock Island Alleman, a team that almost got into the final last year. They, of course, are not that far, way up the road, actually about 70 miles there in the Quad Cities area of northwestern Illinois. There you see Macomb, just a bit southwest of Peoria. Now, Rock Island Alleman comes in with a record of 25-6 on the year. The Pioneers of Coach Larry Schulte, the visitors here out of the very different Western Big Six Conference. The road to Peoria for Alleman led through some difficulties in the sectional, and then they had their way with Sherrard in the super sectional, gaining their quarterfinal berth. Now, the interesting thing is, if you've really never been to Rock Island, it's a gorgeous town. There's some beautiful sights to see, and you'll see them here in our Country Company's Main Street video. From the banks of the Mississippi River sits Rock Island Alleman High School, members of the Western Big Six Conference. Named after Father Alleman, the Pioneers are making their 3rd trip to the finals. Among Alleman's many prestigious graduates is former Olympic wrestler Mark Johnson. Their opponents will be the home team in quarterfinal game number 2, the Bobbers of Macomb. Here's some background facts on Macomb High School. Their record of 23-7 on the year. Coach Dave Taylor and his team very excited to be here. They're one of the teams that maybe wasn't expected to be here, but they earned their right out of the Olympic Conference. Now, their road through Warsaw and then Augusta Southeastern, but the big win was their upset of second-ranked Pittsfield in the super sectional, awarding them with a quarterfinal berth. Now, Macomb, Illinois is also a community in the western part of Illinois, of course, that has its beauty, not only from the university side, but from the high school side. We take a look at our Country Company's Main Street video. Macomb, located in western Illinois, is a beautiful old community featuring an historic Midwestern town square. Macomb School District stretches 148 miles and has over 2,200 students. Western Illinois University is the main employer there and the driving force in the community. Well, that's some background on the two teams, Rock Island Alleman against Macomb, and we will be back with more of our pregame coverage after this word from one of our network sponsors, my favorite vehicle, Ford. Back live at Carver Arena, Rock Island Alleman against Macomb, and with the play-by-play and color commentating, Greg Sterick and his partner, Jim Albrecht.
Thank you very much, Joe, and welcome to Game 2, everybody. I am indeed Jim Albrecht. This is Greg Sterick. The Alleman Pioneers were down at state last year. They failed in the quarterfinal, actually in the semifinal in OT, but they are back, and they're back with a big man, Brian Trapkus.
Well, another all-state player, averages 20 points per ball game, 8 rebounds, a wide body inside, a great shooting touch, runs the floor extremely well. He's their go-to guy.
And he doesn't foul out like he did last year, only 3 times this year. Well, let's check the pregame mood of head coach Larry Schulte of the Pioneers.
Having come so close last year to getting the title, what's been the focus on getting another shot at the title this year?
Well, I think the focus for the season really came from the kids, not particularly from the coaching staff, in that, you know, every year is a new year. It's a new group of kids. Now, we did have some kids, obviously, that had the state tournament experience from last year, and they had a great, exciting time, and I think they were passing that on to their buddies and to the underclassmen. And from there, I think those kids kind of took it upon themselves to make this a campaign to get back to state. I keep catching myself. I almost said Champaign. I meant Peoria.
For Macomb to get here, they had to beat Pittsfield. They did it with a great effort from Corey Fosdick, one of the guards.
Well, he's an outstanding guard, averages 12 points per ball game on a very balanced basketball team. In the big win, the super section over Pittsfield, scored 21 points. Likes to penetrate, but also looks to shoot the 3-ball.
Dave Taylor is the head bomber. Let's see what he has to say before he faces the Pioneers.
Dave, what will Macomb do to offset the pressure that Alleman will give you to allow you to key into your offense?
Well, we're going to have to run some full court sets to get the basketball in, and hopefully if we can get the ball to half court, we'll be in pretty good shape. But Alleman presses real well, and they run and jump a lot, and they just basically put a lot of pressure on you from the time the ball comes in all the way up to the other end as far as the basket goes. So we're going to have to make sure that we handle their pressure. I think if we can keep our turnovers down and get into our half court offense, we'll be in pretty good shape.
Who will face number 1 Shelbyville? Will it be number 2 Alleman, or will it be the Bombers? We're about to find out live from Peoria after these local messages. Need some of that? All right, let's get the starting lineups for game 2 of the quarterfinals here from the Carver Arena. Here's Steve Adams.
Final round game featuring the Pioneers of Rock Island Alleman entering this game with a record of 24-6, and the Bombers of Macomb High School, who come into this game with a record of 22-7. First, let's meet the non-starters from Alleman High School. Number 12, a 5'9" junior, Kevin McLean. Number 14, a 5'10" senior, Scott Cornelis. Number 20, a 5'10" senior, Paul Barnes. Number 22, a 6'2" junior, Chris Watson. Number 30, a 6'2" junior, Mike Watson. Number 34, a 6'1" junior, Jake Smithers. Number 40, a 6'2" senior, Tony Stock. Number 43, a 6'2" junior, Jeff Manus. Number 50, a 6'7" junior, Craig DeDecker. And number 52, a 6'5" sophomore, Paul Linden. Next, let's meet the non-starters from Macomb. Number 5, a 6-foot senior, Jeremy Butcher. Number 21, a 5'9" junior, Cody Louderman. Number 24, a 6'1" junior, Trent Patrick. Number 31, a 5'8" junior, Tyler Norman. Number 32, a 6'2" senior, Matt Watson. Number 53, 6'3" and a senior, Chris Bush. And number 55, a 6'3" junior, Monty Allison. And now, introducing this afternoon's starting lineups. At forward for Alleman, a 6'2" junior, 32, Steve Sotos. At forward for Macomb, a 6'5" junior, number 34, Art Jackson. At the other forward for the Pioneers, a 6'5" junior, number 44, Ryan Wood. And at the other forward for Macomb, a 6'4" junior, number 40, Mark Oprian. At center for Rock Island Alleman, a 6'7" senior, number 54, Brian Trepkus. And at center for the Bombers, a 6'6" senior, 51, Chad Lunt. At one guard for Alleman, a 5'10" junior, number 10, Patrick Voss. And at one guard for Macomb, a 6'1" junior, number 10, Corey Fosdick. At the other guard for the Pioneers, a 6'2 sophomore, number 24, Dan Coyne-Logan. And at the other guard for Macomb, a 6-foot senior, 42, Marty Worsley. And now introducing the coaches. First for Alleman, the assistant coaches are Jeff Schneider, Ken Fry, Kurt Johansson, and Brian Jones. And the head coach in his 3rd season is Larry Schulte. The coaches for Macomb, assistant coaches are Ole Fosdick and Brian O'Neill. And the head coach in his 3rd season is David Taylor. Introducing the official.
Let's check that starting lineup for game 2. Rock Island, of course, with Sotos and Wood. Wood has made a big difference in this team, Greg, because he has taken some of the load off of Mr. Trapkus. Coyne-Logan, the sophomore, and of course, Voss is the man who gets it all done. Oprian and Jackson, look out for Jackson. He can jump out of the gym. Lund at center. Worsley and Fosdick, of course, are the guards.
A very balanced attack for Macomb. And when you talk about Trapkus, he's very good not only offensively but defensively. When you talk defense, that's Alleman's strong suit. They're going to have 32 minutes of pressure defense.
Let's take a look at the team comparisons brought to you by American Airlines. Rock Island Alleman would seemingly have things already done, but that's why they play the game, Greg.
Field goal wise, Macomb's a good shooting basketball team, and quickness wise, I think you have to give the edge to Macomb also. I think it's going to be how well Macomb can handle that pressure defense. It's relentless by Alleman. They really get after you the full length of the court for all 32 minutes of a basketball game.
And these two teams have a history. They have played each other 14 times. They're not that far apart. Alleman has won 13. There you saw the officials running onto the court, and we're set to go. Of course, the Alleman Pioneers have been here before. It's deja vu for them. They won their quarterfinal game last year against, guess who? Shelbyville.
And both these ball clubs come in winning 14 of their last 15 ball games.
Who will set the early tone? Jackson will jump it up against Trapkus, and the Pioneers have it. Voss, who has carried the load late in the season, gets it down low to Sotos. He's covered up by Jackson and walks. The Alleman Pioneers, their 5th state final appearance, and of course we told you about their last visit, rated number 3 or 2 in the final bowl. Jackson hangs, he won't hit that one, and the rebound comes down to Sotos. Steve Sotos, and you'll see a lot of Pioneers here, Greg. They can run 10 men into the first quarter. Coyne-Logan rejected by Jackson.
Great block that time by Jackson. Shut off the baseline, and Jackson went up, a nice rejection.
The Bomber File, 3rd state final appearance, last Elite 8 appearance. My goodness, that was my birthday, I think. Trapkus hangs from 15, doesn't have the touch, and the rebound comes down to Mark Oprian. So nobody hot early on here as we have played about 40 seconds in game 2. Long cross-court pass. That's Fosdick. He got it.
Right there, a long pass right there delivered by Worsley, and Fosdick knocked down the 3.
They want to get Trapkus loose inside, but of course a lot of teams double down, and that's why Voss is so important, because he has opened things up on the outside.
I think he really sets the tempo for the basketball team.
Coyne-Logan, only a sophomore, brought up after one of the starters, Chris Watson, came down with a case of mononucleosis, and now Chris will come into the ball game, but you can't get rid of Coyne-Logan.
Well, good patience by Alleman on that offensive end. Give a little credit to that D2. The Bombers are sticking out there on that defensive end.
Voss puts the move on, frees himself up, and doesn't get it to fall. Rebound comes down to Lund.
Lund at 6'6", nice, good inside position there on the defensive glass. Good job of cleaning up that rebound.
Marty Worsley. This team is so balanced. Fosdick again. No, this was way short. It'll head out of bounds. It'll come to the men in green. Macomb got off to a terrible start. There you see Larry Schulte. They were so close, these Pioneers, and there's Dave Taylor, to getting into the championship game last year, but a couple of calls late went against him. Their 2 big men fouled out, and now they're back. Now they've got to get on track. Voss will do it. The only buckets so far were Trey's.
For Voss, that's his 54th three-pointer of the year. There's that defense right there. Good steal by Coin Logan.
And Voss set that up, and now Voss is driving. Will he penetrate? He will. To the glass and up and in is Ryan Wood.
Defense creates offense, and that was the case there by Voss. Nice little dribble drive, and the kick right there. A good finish by Wood.
And Wood came on strong in January, as we said at the outset. Jackson puts the spin move on. That is pretty. Art Jackson took 3 Pioneers to the hole and got it done. Ooh, and there's just one of those turnovers that coaches cringe at. Steve Sotos took his eye off the pass.
No question about it. He looked to actually make the pass. I think he wanted to make a quick pass back to the inside and just slipped right through his hands.
Macomb started out the year very slowly, Greg, but you find this out in a lot of schools that have great football programs. Macomb started out the year at 7-6. Looked like they were going nowhere. Their coach, Dave Taylor, called it a football hangover. Well, the hangover's gone.
What'd they do, take 8 days off? It was a hangover, wasn't it?
Yeah. They had to rest those football legs and get basketball legs back. Worsley, and now out front, it is Corey Fosdick. Fosdick, a junior. Trying to get it down to Jackson. Good defense by the Pioneers. Fosdick frees from 15.
Boy, he's a pure shooter. Boy, the nice picture-perfect jumper right there. The shoulders were squared, stepped in, got it off the drive, able to spring up and knock down the jumper.
The last time Macomb won a regional title was 1971. Corey Fosdick's dad played on that team. A 3 for Voss.
Voss is warming up the three-point line.
Yes, he has.
Early in this ball game.
The Pioneers have the early advantage. 3.5 minutes into game 2. Shelbyville advanced, but barely. With a 1-point victory over a crushed Mendota. Inside Lunt, he was forced by Trapkis. It's taken away from behind by Tony Stock, who was checked into the ball game. Look at Voss moving out front, hanging. He won't get that one. Rebound coming down nicely, though. Knocked out of bounds as Ryan Wood put it back up by Art Jackson. Boy, Jackson has rejected too. We have got a timeout on the floor. Alleman with the early lead over Macomb, 8-7. One of your network sponsors this afternoon is Country Companies.
Well, he's behind the arc, too. He's been able to light it up from the outside. Patrick Voss right there looking for someone to pass to. Instead, top of the key behind the arc, drains a three-pointer. Voss with 6 of the 8 points of Alleman here early in the ballgame on 2 3-pointers.
Dangerous pass there. They beat the 5 seconds. Voss said during the second season, I think our team is good enough to beat anyone right now. There are no individuals, just a team. He's talking about the young men in green. This is Dan Coyne Logan. Logan will split. That's the penetration to Trapkis, but he missed it inside. Got it back up and don't count it, but he's going to the line. Logan set that one up with the penetration, but Trapkis, I think he found himself too alone.
He's wide open on the inside, couldn't finish the play. And Trapkis, a big wide body on the inside right there. Trapkis a good strong move to the hole. Couldn't finish, stays with it nicely. Goes back up with it, fouled on the play. And Trapkis on the year at 74% for the strike.
The one thing about this young man that you'll notice as this tournament progresses, if in fact the Alleman Pioneers do advance, and Coleman has a lot to say about that, are the great hands. You throw that ball anywhere down there on the low post and misses the second one, chances are he's going to latch on too.
He's been very consistent all year too. He's really helped him on the defensive end as well as offensively. He's an outstanding scorer at 20 points per game, but also grabbing 8 rebounds.
The Macomb Bombers are the 4th largest Class A school in this tournament.
What's a team with good size, aren't they, Jim? Boy, they got good size on the floor.
6'6", 6'5", 6'4" in the front. There's one of the big men. Missing it was Mark Opria. Pioneers come out of there with it. Voss in a hurry. He's always in a hurry unless he wants to slow. Long jumper out front. Not there this time. Stock missed it. Rebound back up and in. Brian Trapkis.
See, Coyne Logan kept it alive. Picked up the loose ball. Then a nice dish inside to Trapkus. Liked the way he gave that head and shoulder fake and used his body well. Got it off the glass for the 2-point.
You talk to some of the coaches on the Alleman Pioneer coaching staff, and they'll tell you that this Coyne Logan may be the prospect of all. Another miss by O'Brien, a rebound by Coyne Logan. Voss doesn't have the numbers, and that cost him not slowing down. Good hustle by Trapkus, and good defense by Macomb, who got back in good shape.
A little out of control that time, Voss.
When you're playing with that much confidence, and Voss is a guy who helped lead this team to 2 wins over AA Quincy this year, 2 free throws in one game, and then an important 3-pointer to send the other in overtime, and now a baseball pass, batted away, and it's off Art Jackson. Good defense by the Pioneers.
Good heads-up play that time by Voss. He couldn't catch the basketball. Then he slapped it right off the chest of Jackson. The ball belongs to Alleman one more time.
Looks like Jackson was running a crossing pattern, and the DB got a hand up just in time. Voss isolated out front, can't shake through. Trapkus, who along with Charlie Manus led this team to a 4th-place finish last year. Voss going baseline, and he'll be fouled by Corey Fosdick.
Well, Voss is really quick off of that dribble. That first step, he's very, very, very quick with the basketball. He's a 5'10" junior, averages right at 14 per ball game, and shoots threes at 39%, and field goal percentage. He's a pretty good shooter too, right at 45%.
And Greg, you can't say enough about confidence. As a sophomore, he was down here. He knows what it tastes like. On the low post, Trapkus forces, and he'll go to the free throw line. Here's that long jump shot by Stock, and you're talking about Coyne Logan keeping things alive.
Well, right there, nice offensive rebound, nice little dish there to the big fella Trapkus, the big wide body with a nice finish.
Mark O'Brien has checked out now for Macomb.
The other thing you'll notice about Trapkus as you watch him play, he's got those good soft hands. He's able to catch a lot of passes, handles the ball very well. I like his shooting touch too. Those soft hands really help when you shoot that basketball. Good touch.
And O'Brien back in right away for Coach Dave Taylor. And now here comes some fresh Pioneers. Number 43 is Jeff Manus, the brother of Charlie last year, who helped lead him. Number 34 is Jake Smithers.
I'm talking to Coach Schulte last night. He said, Greg, you might see 10 of my players in the first quarter.
That's right. It's happened already in the second season. He shuffles them in and out, and that pressure defense keeps its lungs about it thanks to all those fresh faces. Right now, Macomb needs a bucket, Greg. They trail by 6.
Alleman's really extended their defense. The guards were getting good, clean looks at that basket early, but now Alleman has brought that defense out a little bit tougher, denying in the passing lanes. With Trapkus inside, denying the basketball to go inside. He's front down low on run, so they've got to do a good job of moving the basketball.
O'Brien and Jackson managed to get it back out front. This is Cody Louderman who's in the ball game. Fosdick hangs, he needs it. Too much iron. And the fight is on, and Fosdick gets it back and gets it rejected. Fosdick again forcing things. Not a good idea. A wild scramble, and here come the Alleman Pioneers. Voss usually doesn't wait. Now we've got a whistle and a foul out front on Macomb. Boy, that was wild. Fosdick really, if he had it to do all over again, he just wishes he sank that first shot.
A good battle. Fosdick almost lost his jersey on the play, stays after it, and he says, I'm going to take it in one more time. Right there, a loose ball, and everybody goes after the basketball. And right there, and a good kick out, and Voss is going to look up the floor when he gets his hands on the ball.
Bombers knock it away, then lose it. And now it's the other way as Scott Cornelis threw it away. Well, the last minute has not helped the coaching staff's heart, I can tell you that, on either side. We've got 1 minute exactly to play here in the first quarter. Driving is Louderman, and he'll get a trip to the free throw line for his efforts. It looked like Jake Smithers picked up the personal.
Oh. Good drive right here on the play, looking for somebody to dish it to, and really couldn't find anybody. Louderman right there, and he's going to be fouled on the play and go to the line. But, you know, Jim, a quick comment about both these ball clubs.
the fact that they play a lot of ball clubs that are AA teams, this is a much more physical basketball game than we saw out of the first ball game. These two teams really get after it, and they're very, very physical, especially on the inside. Defensively, they even do a lot of checking with their hands out there, and in AA, you get away with a little bit more of that than you do in Class A basketball.
And of course, Macomb,
officials wouldn't like for me to make that comment, though, would they?
But Class A coaches and Class AA coaches will agree that there's a little bit of differentiation when it comes to the whistles in Class A and AA. I was about to say that Macomb, of course, there are some common opponents here. Macomb played Quincy, as does Alleman. Beat them twice, Alleman did, for the first time ever in the history of the Western Big Six. They also played Galesburg, so you're right about the ruggedness.
I think they only had 2 losses to A schools. I think that was to Girard and Flanagan.
Point Logan, 10-footer. Nothing but air molecules. Rebound, Sotos back up and in.
Good rebound by Sotos and a nice foul.
I tell you, Sotos was lucky that didn't hit the iron, because it came right to him.
You follow Alleman basketball, they play in that rugged conference too, and they finished second this year. It might be the toughest conference in the entire state of Illinois.
They finished 6-4, of course, behind Rock Island. That would be the Rock Island Rocks as opposed to Rock Island Alleman. And that 6-4 finish was good enough for second place, and it's tied for their best ever finish in the Western Big Six, which came into being in 1970.
Well, you do follow Alleman basketball, don't you?
Well, when you go to school there, you're going to know these things. Out front is Loudermill, or I should say Louderman. Fosdick forcing it up. Good defense, but the rebound by Lunt. He needs it. Too much glass. Down with it, and a foul. Ryan Wood got enough muscle on it to bring it out of there, and it won't be a shooting foul, obviously. 4th foul, team-wise. Both teams with 14 fouls.
Well, these two teams really battle on the glass. Lund right there, a little hard off of the window, and just a battle inside. And Lund right there, maybe out of frustration, went after the loose ball and picked up the personal foul for Lund, his 2nd personal foul.
They've got 2 seconds. They lob it to Trapkus, and it doesn't work because Trapkus tipped it out of bounds. Good defense there by Matt Watson, who was checked into the lineup for the Bombers, who come in at 22-7. Baseball pass intercepted by Voss, and that's the way the first quarter will come to a close. Alleman has the upper hand so far, but we've got a long way to go. 15-9 our score. One of your network sponsors is Pepsi. Let's take a look at the numbers in the first 8 minutes, Greg.
38% for Alleman, and Macomb at 27%. A little cool from the outside. 3-point field goals. Alleman at 2 for 2. Team fouls. Macomb with 5 and only 1 for Alleman.
Starting 5 back in place for Larry Schulte's Alleman Pioneers. That would be Pat Voss, Dan Coyne-Logan, Brian Trapkus with the basketball, Ryan Wood, and also Steve Sotos out there. That's Sotos with the basketball. Trapkus hasn't really loosened up yet. Voss has, but that was Steve Sotos.
Trapkus drew the attention of the double team, and there was a nice kick out, and Sotos was spotted up to knock down the shot. 18-9 lead for Alleman.
Yeah, right now Macomb needs to right itself. They've got to try to break that defensive wall, and that's why it's so tough to break, because as you mentioned earlier, Greg, Pioneers, as the game progresses, keep extending that defense out. And before you know it, you're standing 20 feet away from the basket every time you have the basketball.
They're going to pressure you for the entire 32 minutes, so you got to make a lot of good decisions on the offensive end. They may not always get the steal, but they panic sets in for those guards when they can't find a release out there.
That's right.
And Alleman utilizes a lot of different people, and it's a ball club that, with an outstanding player like Trapkus, that you'd think they would be really known for their offensive ability. But you know, this is a solid defensive ball club, and always remember, defense and rebounding wins championships.
Amen to that. Fosdick back in the ball game now as Louderman checked out. This is Worsley. Jackson, they've really contained him. He's such a great athlete if he gets any kind of room to operate. This is Oprian, and can't find it. Rebound coming down to Sotos. Here comes Voss. Look at this guy, covered ground on the floor to Trapkus on the wing, up and in.
Oh, how about Trapkus? The big wide body. The fellow ran the floor well, filled the lane, and Voss rewarded him with a nice pass and a nice finish that time by Trapkus.
Didn't Larry Schulte, the head coach, say the other day that Trapkus doesn't run that well? He was keeping up with Voss. Maybe he just doesn't run as long. There's a jumper, and they really need it, but Macomb can't get that to fall either. As Watson misses and the Pioneers are threatening to pull away here. Coin Logan again to Trapkus. Again the baseline. No call. Soto's up and in. And this one's getting away from Dave Taylor and the Bombers, so he calls timeout. The Pioneers have a 13-point advantage. We're going to break away as well from the Peoria Civic Center, and the Carver Arena will return after these local messages. The Alleman Pioneers have had their way. Look at them run.
Well, Voss, a nice look there, and there's Trapkus. A nice finish on the play, but a good look by Voss. And Trapkus now with 7 points for the Alleman Ball Club, and Alleman on a 14-2 run.
If you're going to stop Trapkus, you better do more than whap him on the forehead. Inside the Lunt, that one won't fall. Pioneers clear glass again. How many shots is Macomb getting on the trip down?
Yeah, they only get one, and they're shooting it very poorly when you get that one shot. They're only at 23%.
Shelbyville, of course, in the wings with the first victory. Voss hanging in and out. And a rebound comes down to Macomb as Marty Worsley clears it out of there.
Well, they've got to credit Alleman's defense for the poor shooting percentage of Macomb. They're not getting any real clean looks at the hoop.
Rebounding in the favor of the Pioneers as well. Here comes Voss, one-on-one. Watch him move. Ooh, great defensive play by Worsley, who stripped it. And now Worsley in a horse race. Can he make it? No. Rebound, Jackson high above everybody else. And we've got a whistle and a foul on the Alleman Pioneers. Well, it looked like Voss was ready to deal, and Worsley said, no, my hand.
It's a great steal on the play. Voss is so quick with the basketball right there, and a good swipe right there, and Worsley takes it back the other way, takes it really coast to coast. Looked like he was going to be able to finish the play, and shot just didn't fall. And the Bombers really went to work on that offensive glass. That's where they need to work too, but Rock Island with the edge, 15-7 early here in the rebound department.
It's a very balanced scoring attack, but the balance shouldn't be a low-scoring affair. And now contact as Fosdick drives in. He wanted to call, but didn't get what he wanted. But the Bombers will maintain possession. Is there a foul?
Like Alleman was set. Fosdick took it pretty strong to the glass, though.
Maybe Fosdick was fortunate. Jackson, this won't count because there was a whistle underneath the basket. Looked like Ryan Wood was caught for some infraction.
They were battling for that position inside. Larry Schulte, the Alleman coach right there, really stresses fundamentals. Loves to see his players really box out on that offensive and defensive boards, and that was the case there. As Ryan Wood was really battling to get that inside position and picked up the personal foul.
The code of the road for the Alleman Pioneers is laid down by Larry Schulte. Goes EOD. Nice try. That was Worsley on the drive. Back to the DOD. That means discipline, organization, and defense. And right now, Alleman has all three, leading 22-11. But Macomb has plenty of time. 4:50 remaining, first half. Jeff Manus with the basketball. He's checked in. You got a 10-man basketball team here. Down low it goes, up and in on the turnaround by Manus.
Nice ball movement that time. Good ball movement. Got it to the open man for the easy two-pointer, Manus.
You know, Manus, during warm-ups this morning, I was here for the shoot-around. If he gets a chance for a layup, even on layup drills, he dunks every time. He will not shoot a normal layup. It's apparently against his religion. Out front, Jackson. Lunt's been awful quiet. Of course, so has that whole front court. If you're going to beat the Pioneers, you better shoot from the outside a little bit. Make them soften up on the inside. And right now, they haven't been able to do that. Fosdick did it early, but after that, nada. Jackson needs it. Gets it.
Penetration set it up right there. Found a little seam in the D, and Worsley, a nice penetration to get the basketball in the hands of Jackson, who responded for two.
It's an 11-point game. Chris Watson is also in the ball game, number 22. This is Trapkus, and this is good. Boy, he has some good hands and a soft touch for a man who weighs in at 230 and stands at 6'7". Trying to go low post. This time they do get it into Lunt, but it is blocked from behind. Rolling out of bounds. Who does it belong to? Boy, Lunt can't believe it. He was so close to the rim, and I didn't see from my angle who got a hand on it.
I believe Trapkus is the one that got the block on the play right there. Lund actually tried to shield him off with his left hand, but Trapkus actually had his hand on top of the basketball, and I think that's why a foul wasn't called. Good block.
3:20 left here in the first half. And Trapkus, you saw there, last year he fouled out 15 times and spent a lot of, oh, a bad pass taken away by Worsley. Boy, Voss hardly ever does that, but I'll tell you, I think Worsley deked him a little bit. He faked like he was going to the left and then stood in the passing lane, and now back-to-back turnovers by the Pioneers. Voss comes unglued just a little bit. He stepped over the end line.
Yeah, I think he became a little rattled, but what a great steal it was on the play, and Voss looking to kick it in bounds. Right there, Worsley right there, a great catch and a great finish. A big basket that time for his Macomb Bomber basketball team.
Boy, this could be a big turnaround here. Could be a 4-point play in essence. Oprian triple teamed, and he is definitely fouled that time by Tony Stock, who got a hand on the wrist.
Alleman ringing up that foul board, but another key ingredient of this basketball team, not only their balance and their nice inside play, is their depth, and where they've got the depth is at that guard position.
Of course, Voss will play pretty much the entire game, as will Trapkus, but everybody else, ooh, there's a spin move and nothing for it. Nothing for it as Marty Worsley spun but had nowhere to go and lost the handle. Checking it was Corey Fosdick on the drive.
Fosdick a little out of control. Nice spin move, splits two defenders. May have got tripped up on the play though also, but it was a no call.
Not an intentional trip according to the official. Here's Voss, give it a lane. You don't want to do that. Voss came off that high pick and then it was clear sailing. He has got one quick first step. Now the Bombers failed to get the two at the other end, and now they are back down by 13. Couple of threes in this kind of game like that from Jackson, but he couldn't get it to fall. But Jackson with a nice follow. Hanks hits.
Shooter always knows where a miss is going to go. Jackson knew the ball was shot short and went right after it. A nice follow that time. A good headsy play by Jackson.
And with a guy like Jackson, when he shoots from outside, it's hard to get that body on him as far as blocking out that far. Now another turnover. Here comes Fosdick. He does not have the numbers. He'll wait for Mates. I was about to say, when Jackson shoots that far out, it's hard to get a body on him and keep him screened out that far because he's so quick. But that, of course, is what Larry Schulte wants his guard to do when Jackson's out there. And now we've got a whistle, which will halt play. Oh, that's on Brian Trapkus with a foul.
I think the push was going to be on Trapkus, right? See Trapkus trying to fight over the top right there, trying to get over the top of Oprian, and picked up the personal foul.
And that is 2 on Brian Trapkus. And I think Larry Schulte will make sure that he doesn't see too much more action in this, the first half of play.
Made a good comment about Trapkus also. Last year he fouled out 15 times, and fouled out 3 times this year, so a much more mature basketball player his senior campaign.
Jackson looking for somebody low post, but it's batted away nicely by Ryan Wood, who came out of there. Wood stopped that interior pass and stopped the momentum for the time being in Macomb. 28-17 our score. The guys who have the basketball have the lead. Mates, Wood, there's number 44. They'll just, it's like interchangeable basketball parts on this team.
Well, the 1-2 punch, Trapkus and also Voss, with Trapkus on the bench, look for Voss to take a little more control. Those two have combined for 17 of the 28 Alleman points.
And of course, with the lead, with Trapkus on the bench, Larry Schulte, the head coach, has told his point guard Voss, just take your time, each the clock. If they don't do it right, they throw it away. It's picked up, though, by Wood. Wood is fouled, or is it a jump ball? Let's jump it up, said the official.
Oh, boy, nice hustle play once again by Worsley. He's all over the floor out there for Macomb. That time a real hustle play. Possession arrow in favor of the Bombers. So the ball's going to go in the hands of Macomb. So watch a hustle play right there. Everything, the ball bouncing Alleman's way early here, and right there's Worsley right there. Nice takeaway.
Yeah, he got all ball on that, didn't he? Sometimes when the offensive player struggles trying to get the ball up, people assume if they're not right on the scene that it is a foul. But in that case, you saw Marty Worsley with great defense. Macomb needs to get some momentum going into that locker room. They know it. Alleman knows it. Everybody here at Carver Arena knows it. But can they do it? Everywhere Jackson goes, somebody jumps out at him. He must feel like a marked man. 20 seconds remaining in the first half, and a steal out front, and you can count this up. Tony Stock. Boy, that's exactly what Macomb didn't need.
Oh, he just slipped into that passing lane and a nice steal and got the easy two-pointer. A big basket that time.
Fosdick needs a three. Got it! And that's the way the first half comes to a close. Alleman with the steal and the lay-in by Tony Stock. Corey Fosdick answers with three, and we've got a 10-point ball game as a few of the Macomb coaches step out on the field and let one of the officials know that if a hand is laid on your wrist while you have the basketball, it's supposed to be a personal foul. Well, the official says, I'm not buying any of that. Hey, Mrs. Schmidt, we're at the game. Good. Glad you're here. Glad this place is full. All right, let's go to the leading coach at the break here, Larry Schulte with Joe Passion.
Well, Larry, as we saw by that last shot by Macomb, no lead is very safe here. What do you go in the locker room with your focus on?
Well, that was a big basket for them. They ran what we call America's play there, running that kid from they set a double screen high and run a kid on the baseline. We just didn't do a very good job of defensing that, but for the most part, our defense I thought was very solid for the first half.
Any particular thing you want to bring up a notch offensively in the second half?
We may have rushed a few things, especially with our post players, but we gotta take care of the ball down in the low post a little bit. We got the ball stripped there toward the end. Ryan Wood did. When we get the ball down that deep, then we got to really get strong and get on balance before we take it back inside.
All right, Larry, thank you very much. Have a great second half. Larry Schulte from the Pioneers, and we'll be back with more of our halftime festivities here from Carver Arena. We're at the break, and it's a 10-point lead for the Pioneers. We're back after this word from one of your network sponsors, the dairy farm families of Illinois and Wisconsin. Welcome back to Carver Arena, and we are live here at the arena, halftime of Class A quarterfinal game number 2. A 10-point lead for Rock Island Alleman over Macomb at the break. When we come back, we've got the updated first half stats for you, as well as highlights later on. And also we'll be talking about the move from Champaign to Peoria, what it's doing for the media. All that still to come here on the America's original March Madness, and we're back after these local messages. Welcome back to Carver Arena. We're at halftime of the boys Class A quarterfinal game number 2. In the locker room with a 10-point bulge is Rock Island Alleman and Coach Larry Schulte. The Macomb Bombers right now bombed away to a 3 just before the buzzer to bring them within 10. That will make for a good second half. In the first game, number 1 ranked Shelbyville advanced to tomorrow's semifinals with a last-second shot by All-State center Rich Byers to advance 53-52. So lots of action still to come later in the night session. Before we move on, though, the big topic, Lanny, has been the media and moving to Peoria. And you're getting all sorts of different topics and different thoughts from different people for different reasons. As a longtime member of the media, you've covered the IHSA tournament for, what, 30 years now? I'm not trying to date you.
Just about 30. Seems like 5, really, Joe. It seems like we just started this run, but actually 46 state tournaments, 23 years, and then you throw the A and AA together. So it's 46. This will be my 47th. But about the media, I guess it's just one of those things that we're kind of getting to know each other on a little closer proximity, working close together. We don't have the expanse to spread out the way we did in Champaign. But you can't say enough about the move to Peoria. I think they've done a remarkable job down here. And I know that there's a lot of people out there watching that may be a little perturbed right now, but I think what we got to do is realize that it's a hot ticket now in Peoria. And we also have to stop and realize that not all of us get into a World Series game. Right. Not all of us get a ticket to the Super Bowl. And for a while, not all of us are going to get a ticket into the IHSA Final Elite 8 and Final 4. But it does make it an exciting time. It makes it kind of like the old Huff Gymnasium time. You just don't stroll up there to the box office anymore and plunk down your $3 and say, I want to go in and watch the championship game. You can't do that anymore. You got to feel good, too, Joe, because there's more people watching you at home, too.
Well, we hope anyways, Lanny, certainly. And you bring up a good point, though, the hot ticket. And certainly that's one problem the IHSA doesn't mind having. SRO crowds of 11.2 plus here at Carver Arena, and they were really averaging under 11 on the average per session at Champaign's Assembly Hall. On to another topic, though, very quickly here about Peoria and the move here. There's been some very interesting aspects about the environment. The crowd is closer. It's a little bit louder. I saw this when the girls tournament moved to Redbird Arena from Assembly Hall. That tournament also sparked with enthusiasm. Do you see it happening here as well?
Absolutely. In fact, I think the excitement, the electricity is even more than it was in Champaign, Joe, and I really mean that. You know, the crowd was kind of removed from the playing floor there, and some of those C-section seats weren't all that great. People would sit up there, and you need binoculars to practically see the floor. Right here, there's not, I know it's a cliche, there's not a bad seat in the house. And truly, for those of us in the media, we're still courtside for most of us, and we're right in the action. They still have the same pep band and the same kind of ambiance, but it's just, I think it's just more exciting. I really mean that.
Well, it'll certainly be more exciting to listen to Lanny through the years as well, because you'll hear him on the IHSA radio network in the coming years, taking over for the great Art Kimball. And we'd like to have more time to talk about that, but we've got to take care of some business here, Lanny.
I'm going to have my voice back by then, too, Joe. Thanks a lot.
Thanks much, Lanny. We'll be back with more of the Class A quarterfinal game number 2. We're at the break, and our score, 10-point lead for Rock Island Alleman, 30-20 over Macomb. We're back after these local messages.
This is the only place to be on a cold winter's day. Carver Arena at the Peoria Civic Center for the IHSA Class A tournament, year number 25 for this. And now let's take a look at some of the first half highlights as the Alleman Pioneers try to get into the semifinals for the second year in a row. And they got off to a pretty good start, Greg.
Well, they got a good start shooting the basketball, and they really battled hard right there. A good pickup right there on the play by Coyne Logan. A nice feed inside. Great finish by the big fellow, the white body, Brian Trapkus on the play. Trapkus with 9 first half points.
The big body can run.
Oh, a good look that time by Voss. And what a finish by Trapkus. Another hoop by Brian Trapkus.
And of course, Macomb didn't get as many points as they'd like, but they got a few, especially with this guy.
Well, Worsley able to penetrate, found a little seam in that D. A nice little kiss off the window, give the 2-pointer to Worsley.
And the D again.
Oh, good D by Worsley. Another nice finish on the play.
We had a big bucket here. Macomb trying to kill some time and get the last shot.
And that is D. That's pressure D by Alleman. A nice steal that time. Slipped in the passing lane. A good finish by Tony Stock.
But Macomb had the answer as the clock ran down.
Oh, a buzzer beater. What a way to close out the half. The long 3-ball. Score it for Corey Fosdick, a 3-pointer by Fosdick.
And that has to help, because instead of being down by 13, you're down by 10. Let's take a look at the numbers. Of course, that Alleman defense has a lot to do with the shooting percentages.
Yeah, Macomb at 36% from the free throw line, 75%. Only 2 trips for Macomb. And when you look at the rebounds, there's the edge, 16-9 for Alleman. About the same in terms of turnovers, 8 for Alleman and also 9 for Macomb.
The Bomberhead man is standing by courtside with Joe Passion.
Dave, very quickly, that 3-pointer at the end, a big basket for the Bombers, no pun intended. What do you do to bring it back into close range?
Our post players have no points and 3 rebounds, so we're going to have to do a much better job inside. It's pretty rough and tumble. We're going to have to make some adjustments, obviously, and hopefully get the ball inside a little better and shoot a little better.
All right, Dave, go get him here in the second half.
Thanks,
Dave Taylor and the Bombers trail by 10. We're back with the second half of Class A quarterfinal basketball from Peoria after these local messages.
The Alleman Pioneers have the basketball in a 10-point lead. Let's take a look at the leaders.
The leading scorers for Alleman, Trapkus 9, Sotis with 7, and 8 for Voss. On the other side, Jackson with 6, Fosdick with 5, and Worsley chipped in with 4.
It is Voss, Coyne Logan, Trapkus, Sotos, and Wood for the Pioneers. This is Coyne Logan freeing up, not getting the ball to fall, and the rebound comes down easily to O'Brien. I say easily because he wanted it worse than anyone else. This is O'Brien out front. It's Fosdick, Worsley, Lunt, who is inside and missed the inside shot. Rebound on floor. Sotos picks it up, gets it to Coyne Logan. Look out, Voss is alone. Count on up.
That was a track meet right there, and Voss was the winner. He was able to sprint out. A good look by the sophomore Coyne Logan. Voss with a nice finish.
You know, some fast runners have that graceful stride. Voss looks like he's working every minute just to get down there, but he can fly. There's no doubt about it. So Macomb misses an easy one inside, and now a foul out front, then gives up an easy one down there, and that's what wins and loses basketball games, Greg.
Well, in basketball, the only place you have to be fast is from free throw line to free throw line.
That's right.
That's where you have to be quick.
That's right, and Voss is all of that and more. Blunt again inside. Again he misses, and Trapkus owns the rebound.
Well, they're getting it inside. That was the game plan to start the third quarter here. They get it inside, and they just can't finish on 2 straight opportunities.
Jackson got way up to make Soto's change his mind about taking that jumper from the baseline. Early in the third quarter, I'm Jim Albrecht, Greg Sterick alongside. Glad to have you on this Friday afternoon from the Peoria Civic Center. A lot of people thought we'd never be saying that. Coyne Logan forced into giving it up. Out front, Voss! Pat Voss with another big one, and that's the biggest lead of the contest at 15. Macomb now senses that they are in trouble, but they also know that they've won a whole lot of games this year. 22, and Voss up in the air had nowhere to land but on Marty Worsley. Dave Taylor, what a nice guy. Talked to him yesterday. He says, well, it's only my 3rd year as a head coach. Maybe I made a mistake. He's just kidding, of course. And now some contact inside. Looked like Trapkus got wrapped up with Oprian, and they exchanged glares. Trapkus is, no way did I touch him, but that's not what the official said, and that's foul number 3 on Brian Trapkus, something to keep your eye on. Inside whirling, it's good. Here comes Pat Voss again in a hurry, tried to get the old alley-oop down to Trapkus, but it was knocked away, and Jackson will wait for teammates. He doesn't want a 1-on-4, does he? He did, but that was not the right decision, and Alleman comes away with it. Ryan Wood out of there, and Voss again in a hurry. Nice dish to Trapkus. He couldn't get it to fall on the rebound. Nicely done by Luntz.
Trapkus reached in there, could have picked up that 4th personal foul.
It looks like Manus will check in so Trapkus can get out of there. Oprian. Worsley with a pass inside that is headed nowhere, but Fosdick picks it, spins, and doesn't hit it. Oprian up and in.
Well, good follow that time by Oprian, and Trapkus really didn't even challenge him on that play.
You can't with 3, not this early. Dan Coyne Logan, 12-footer, short. Trapkus back up and in. That was a gift for the big guy.
Right place, right time.
Pioneers maintaining that lead. It has been as big as 15. There's Schulte waiting for a dead ball. Lunt, 3rd time not a charm. That's the 3rd time he's gone low post on the right side of the hoop, and the 3rd time he's come up empty. Sotos buries it. Steve Sotos, the junior. And the scary thing about this Alleman team is Dave Taylor calls for a timeout. There's only one senior in the starting lineup. We're going to break away. One of your network sponsors is Ford. You want to see him drain from outside? Both classes, King of the Hill, next Saturday, March 16th. The 3-point contest brought to you by Country Companies Insurance.
Brought her game face.
Whoa. Reminds me of a story in New Orleans one night, but I won't get into it. Out front is Oprian.
You had your game face on, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, it was Mardi Gras. What could I do? Inside. It is nicely done by Worsley. Marty Worsley forcing it, and Worsley again with a steal.
Great.
Over to Jackson. Can he get it? Yep, he can.
Yeah, Fosdick was the guy that kept it alive, just slapped it on the floor. Jackson was there. Nice finish by Jackson. Macomb just won't go away. They just keep battling and battling back to within 11 now, trailed by as many as 15.
Every time you think that Alleman's going to put it into overdrive, a couple of steals that time by Fosdick. Voss, pretty. Pat Voss, he gets that quick step, stops, and then hurts you. Oprian out front. He's working against Ryan Wood, successfully so. Voss again. Wood and Stock into the ball game as well for all.
Can't be many point guards that say basketball any better than Patrick Voss, can you?
According to Coach Larry Schulte, no. In a word, no. Voss is fouled by Oprian, and that's what he'll do. He frustrates you out front so much, you try to stick that leg out or anything to stop his progress, but Voss is not to be denied.
Well, his outside shot's what's really improved from a year ago.
Oh,
he's
yeah.
shooting the basketball with a lot more confidence, and you know he's scoring at a good clip too, 14 points per ball game, but he's shooting threes at 39%.
This is Manus, not there. Wood up and in.
Yeah, nice tip by Wood all over the offensive boards.
Ryan Wood, you know, Voss really wasn't scoring that much early in the season. He comes in today averaging 13 points a game, but in February, when everybody was double teaming, this man was scoring. Yeah. In February, Voss averaged 20 points a contest because everybody was double teaming Trapkus, so Voss said, fine, I'll take the outside shot. Worsley nicely over to Watson, and we've got contact and a foul on Manus. Jeff Manus, the junior.
And Voss has picked up some of that scoring with Trapkus on the bench. He seems to take control of the ball game when his inside punch is out of there, and Voss now with 17 points. Just a nice steal right there by Patrick Voss. So quick with the basketball, back the other way. Nice finish.
Nice interior passing to Art Jackson. I don't think the Alleman Pioneers wanted to give that close a look on the out-of-bounds play, but Jackson sprung free.
Jackson with a lot of nice skills. Shoots the ball well, goes the offensive glass extremely well, shoots threes at 41%, field goal percentage at 52. Also shoots free throws well at 82%.
In a sectional game against Warsaw, Jackson had 15 rebounds. The defense gives Macomb a chance to cut it to 12. Chris Watson wears number 22, and he's trying to hustle up front. Here's the throwaway. Tony Stock has Stock. Not about to win. Why not? Not a high percentage shot, but tomorrow morning in the stat sheet will look like a lay-in. Fosdick. Some pressure out front. Jumper along the baseline isn't there. This shot by Watson won't fall. Jackson inside, and Jackson will go to the free throw line. Right now, Macomb looks tired. And again, this is one of the key factors. When you can run people in like Chris Watson and Jake Smithers and Tony Stock and Scott Cornelis, you're going to wear them down. Look at this shot.
Well, that's a shot he's worked on all summer, getting back to the state tournament, and the shot goes for Tony Stock. That's one you work on a lot out on the playground.
Oh, yeah. That's the one you save for a game of horse with Dick Vitale. or somebody famous. Checking into the ball game, Steve Sotos. Checking out is Jeff Manus.
Macomb's just not been able to get anything done inside at all. You know, their game plan to start the third quarter was to work Lund on the inside, maybe Oprian, and they just haven't been able to get anything done inside. Jackson's been the main force offensively, and the perimeter play of Fosdick and also Worsley.
Scott Cornelis also into the ball game. He wears number 14 for the Alleman Pioneers. You get a good look at Art there. Art gets a good look at the basket from 15 feet away.
You talk about Cornelis. He started 13 ball games for this club. He's a senior, also the captain of the basketball team.
Yeah, and Tony Stock, he also started 14 or 13 games, so got a lot of experience out there. That's Stock with the basketball. You know who this is, Pat Voss. And he gets it stripped away down along the baseline. Hustle by Jackson, who knocked over a cheerleader. A minute 19 remaining here in the third quarter. Macomb's got to, if not hurry, then at least be quick about things.
Well, possessions definitely they're starting to become important for Macomb.
Fosdick tried to go low, and it was knocked out of bounds by Voss. Don't forget, we'll be back tonight. We've got some good matchups coming your way. Breeze Mater Day against the famed Lawrenceville. Here's a hanger by Mark Oprian. He's been awful quiet, but he got that one down. And Oprian, not a big-time scorer for this team, does a lot of other things. Came in averaging 7 points a game. And let's see if Alleman wants to just hang out here for a while with the clock running down to 44 seconds in the third quarter.
Yeah, I think they're going to take the last shot of the third quarter and look for penetration to set it up by Voss.
Yeah, they're just going to wait here. No, Voss wants a three. Doesn't get it. Rebound comes down to Cody Louderman. Louderman will bring it up, and Macomb should hang, I think.
That was not the shot that Larry Schulte wanted.
Jackson. Sweet.
Big bucket right there. Big basket.
Let's see if Alleman can respond. Cornelis is double teamed, almost lost it, gets it back. And Voss says, I better make up for my shot there, but he better hurry. He's only got 5 seconds left. Sotos double team, kicks it out. Wood will not be able to get the shot off, and we are going into the fourth and what should be the final quarter. But don't count Macomb out yet. They've climbed back to within 10. One of your network sponsors is DuPont. There's Joe Passion, our courtside reporter. Just kidding, Joe. Jim Albrecht, Greg Sterick alongside. We've got 8 minutes left. Dave Taylor and the Bombers need to come on back. Can they do it, Greg Sterick? They've got to hit the outside shot, it would appear.
Well, that's a big bucket right there by Jackson. Jackson now with 15 points. Speaking of Art Jackson, averages only 9 a ball game, but now with 15, and Macomb's going to have the basketball to start the fourth quarter. Every time Alleman looks like they're going to run away and hide, Macomb comes right back and gets into the ball game.
This would be a big bucket. Jackson again. It's going to be short. Trapkus controls the rebound. Coyne Logan back in the ball game. I mean, Larry Schulte can set somebody down for 5 minutes, and then they come back in. Fresh as a daisy. Well, if you've been in the locker room, maybe not a daisy, but close.
And Trapkus is back in the ball game too. That gives him a force on the inside. He's been bothered with fouls in that third quarter and only played about half the third quarter.
Starting 5 out there for the Pioneers, and the starting 5 not out there, though, for Macomb, as they have a couple of replacements. Coyne Logan hangs, but Jackson got in the way of that shot and altered it a little bit. Here comes Cody Louderman. Louderman is finally stopped across the way. It's Watson. Can he shake free? He does, but it's too hard. The rebound fought for, rolling out of bounds. Last touch, they say, by Coyne Logan.
Boy, great hustle that time by Louderman. Missed the shot, but really went after the loose ball and kept it alive. Third quarter stats, 70% shooting for Alleman, 7 of 10, 50% for Macomb, and 3-point field goals, 2 for 3 for Macomb. But Alleman 7 of 10 in the third quarter.
Louderman out, Fosdick back in. They need his 3-point expertise. He hit 35 on the year coming into today. Worsley. Oprian, too much iron, and a foul from behind against Macomb. That was an important possession. I mean, you work all season to get down here, Greg, and now you're down to 6:55, and every time you touch the ball is almost a must.
And Macomb made some nice adjustments at the intermission time. David Taylor made some adjustments so his ball club could get it inside, and they just haven't been able to score inside. No scoring punch at all on the inside.
Well, the odds seem to be in the favor of the Alleman Pioneers, but we have seen some strange things in the state tournament. What a game we had in game 1 today. Shelbyville topping Mendota, 53-52. Trapkus turns, hits. Boy, you work that hard at the other end, Macomb does, to cut it to 8, and now they're looking at a 12-point disadvantage again. Cutting is Worsley, driving is Worsley. That is sweet. That was a nice change of hands, but Coyne Logan's loose. Can he catch up to it? He can. Talk about your lead pass.
Alleman's just so quick. Really pushed the ball up the floor quickly.
Coyne Logan only a sophomore. Voss only a junior. Soto's only a junior. Wood only a junior. Jackson around 3 Pioneers. Doesn't get it to fall. It's headed out of bounds. Jackson saved it nicely. Watson couldn't shake free, so they'll crank it up again. Jackson just has to have it. Doesn't get it. Ball is fought for, and a foul by Dan Coyne Logan.
Nice hustle play that time by Macomb all over the offensive glass. Got 3 opportunities at it. It's a nice hustle play. The shot goes up from the baseline, deep baseline by Jackson. There's Fosdick slipping in on the offensive glass. Got a little push from number 24, Coyne Logan. He picked up the personal foul. Tony Stock checks back in for Alleman.
Out goes Sotos. Fosdick playing it in. That's a nice interior pass, and Oprian couldn't get it to fall. Oh, that might be the backbreaker right there. That's the shot you needed. Oprian would make that 9 out of 10 times, but that was the 10th time.
Another case where they were able to get it inside. Just couldn't finish.
Trapkus, of course, got those big mitts around the basket call, and now Alleman will just take some time off the clock. 5:20 remaining here in the game. Shelbyville definitely wants a piece of Alleman. They think they didn't play their best game down here last year. Alleman would definitely like to give them that chance. Coyne Logan. Too short. Uh-oh, rebound, though, nicely by Stock, and he'll go to the free throw line, or was he fouled before he put it up? Alleman got out to a good, healthy lead early in the first quarter. And you can see Alleman keeping that ball alive, Greg. And Stock, the recipient of it.
Had a 10-point lead at the halftime, and now with a 12-point advantage with 5 minutes left here in the ball game.
Boss looking for Trapkus. Trapkus is fouled from behind. And Macomb, of course, pretty much a man-to-man defensive team, and they'll try to front you and get a guy behind you, but Trapkus has such a body on him that it's hard to give all that responsibility to the man behind him, and that's why the foul occurred there. We've got a timeout, 4:57 remaining. You see the score. We'll return after these local messages. They're pumped up in Peoria, and they'll be up in the air next weekend. The finals right here at the Carver Arena, the Slam Dunk Contest, brought to you by Denny's. The Alleman Pioneers with the lead, with the basketball. Time remaining just under 5 minutes. Jumper out front, not there by Voss. Boy, Jackson get up. I think Jackson would be a compliment to any team down here.
And he's only a junior.
Watson trying to go low to O'Brien, but nothing shaking there. So Worsley drives, O'Brien fighting for it, and now we'll have a jump ball. If there is a man working any harder today than Mark O'Brien, I'd like to know who it is, because he is really under duress. Let's go to Joe somewhere on the floor.
Well, Jim, not far from you, and one thing that you have talked about, Art Jackson, something people are not aware of. You have talked already about this is his first year of organized basketball. There's a reason for that. He's been academically ineligible. But the fact of the matter is this is a kid who has had a learning disability, but has worked so hard to come back and has proven by his presence here today what a tremendous all-around student athlete he is. And we've got some more business to attend to, so Jim, back to you.
One of your network sponsors is Country Companies. Same time, same place, same station. Next week, it's the Class AA tournament in Illinois, always a dandy. And who knows what's going to happen before this one's over. Right now, it looks like the Alleman Pioneers are going to be into the semifinals for the second year in a row.
The edge to Alleman in rebounds, 25-18.
I mean, right now, Greg, they'll just do the opposite. They'll take some time off the clock. If they get a good look, they'll go for it. If they don't, they'll make Macomb run around.
Yeah, they've really been in control of the basketball game almost from the opening tip from the get-go.
Of course, some of you folks out there might be wondering, where did they get that cool name in Macomb, the Bombers? Well, it has nothing to do with shooting at all, not from the long range. What it has to do with is World War II. There was a factory in Macomb that made something that U.S. jet fighters needed, and it's only back then could be found in Macomb. So when they found that out, the school did, they said, well, since the name Macomb is on jet fighters and they're bombers, let's call them the Bombers. That is the true story of how they got their nickname.
Must be the Bombers, huh?
Yeah, that's it. Well, there wasn't bombs away today, not so far. They're going to need some bombs away, though, in the final 3:51. Game has slowed down considerably here in the second half. Alleman came out with a 10-point lead, and they pretty much maintained it. Got it up to 15 at one point. But Macomb has definitely been scrappy. You don't come all the way down here. Boston can go get that, of course. You don't come all the way down here to give up. Chances are, if you had that attitude, you wouldn't be here in the first place. Trying to catch Boss. That's a game I don't want to play.
Boy, he's had a brilliant basketball game, hasn't he? Both offensively and defensively.
And the thing about Coyne Logan getting into the lineup after Chris Watson went out with mononucleosis is that Coyne Logan is also an excellent ball handler. A lot of teams have one, Greg, but not a lot of teams have two.
Well, the depth for Alleman, just, you know, he could go 10 deep on that bench. And in the first quarter of this ball game, we saw him go to his bench early. Well, a minute and a half had gone in the ball game, and he was going to his bench. And one guy off the bench, Tony Stock, has made 2 or 3 real big plays for his ball club.
And, of course, in a tribute to Chris Watson, who lost his starting job. They didn't even know if he'd come back this season, but he fought back from mononucleosis and made the big 3 against Pecatonica in the sectional that moved the Pioneers on. Otherwise, they wouldn't be here. Down to 3 minutes. In Peoria, Voss penetrates. Somebody's open. That somebody is Tony Stock.
They knocked down another 3.
54-39. The beat goes on for Alleman. I'll tell you, Oprian has been dogged all afternoon, and that's not his shot out there at 15 feet, but if you got Trafkus hanging all over you all afternoon, it's like fighting off a badger all day. You just don't win that battle too often, but Shelbyville will try tomorrow. Joe Passion, it's yours, sir.
You know, you've talked about having tough weekends, and I know, Jim, you and Greg have had tough weekends, but Coach Taylor, Dave Taylor, you see here, talk about a tough weekend for this guy, and he's handled it all with class and a good sense of humor. A tremendous offensive and defensive line football coach, a great fan of country western music. George Strait, of course, the famous country western music star, played here at the Entertainment Theater the other night. He had 4 tickets from the local DJ from one of the local radio stations, Joe Cameron, who is a former student of his, had to give him up because of a coaches meeting at the hotel. It turned out the DJ gave the tickets away. The coach got out of the meeting early, couldn't get a hold of the DJ, and couldn't see his favorite country western musician, George Strait. But I'm sure Dave's going to find a way to straighten that all out in time. Jim?
Well, if he had known you, Joe, he would have got in. He would have gotten backstage.
Joe was with us, wasn't he, back there on that loading dock most of the evening?
We looked like a trio of roadies. That's what we looked like. Ridden hard. 55, 56 now make it 39. The free throws both down by Ryan Wood after the foul by Macomb, and we're just playing this one out in the second quarterfinal game from the Peoria Civic Center, where, in fact, George Strait was last night. Here's a drive by Fosdick, nicely done. Of course, you know, the intensity of defense sometimes lessens up a little bit when you got a big lead, but don't expect that. Uh-oh, this is serious. Pat Voss may have sprained something. There's a moment here for Alleman fans who were going, oh no, that's the one thing we don't need. As a matter of fact, with a 15-point lead, Larry Schulte might be thinking after these free throws, he's gone. They get a good look. He came up like he was in a lot of pain, but now it looks like it's okay, Greg.
Looked like he just turned his ankle a little bit, but I think he's okay.
Boy, look at Jackson get up. Tell him. Worsley, in and out. Good. You know who has the rebound? Trash to track.
He's just cleaning up there on the inside.
Of course, speaking of the country or western concert, Greg, last night we actually rode to the gym here with one of the members of the Terry Clark Band, who was also on the show. And he had to come back to our hotel because he forgot his boots. So you know it's a country or western concert when you can't play without your boots, you know.
That's a true story. It almost sounds like you made that up.
No, it's true.
But it's true. I was sitting
true.
next to him, too. And he said he played steel guitar. And they let him practice. But had to go back to the hotel to find his boots.
Can't play my steel guitar without my boots. Wait. Cornelis misses the free throw. There's a minute 55 remaining here. It'll be Shelbyville and Alleman. Oh, what a matchup that's going to be. That's going to be a great basketball game tomorrow. Fosdick forces. Not there. Rebound comes down on the other side to Tony Stock. Here comes Cornelis. Of course, Cornelis' father is a sportscaster in the Quad Cities, has been for many years. But Scott Cornelis, of course, is the scholar athlete on this team, and I don't believe his father Tom was even close. Let's take a look at the player of the game. It's got to be number 10.
Now Voss with 14 points and 4 steals right now. Voss has done everything for him offensively and defensively. He's been able to knock down the three from outside, but really sets the tempo for this ball game. And through the month of February and early March, he's really been the hottest player for Alleman down the tournament stretch.
Mark Oprian checks out, as does Corey Fosdick. Fosdick, of course, only a junior, so he'll be back, and Oprian only a junior as well. So don't feel too bad for Dave Taylor. He's got some people coming back, including the aforementioned Art Jackson, so that's not too bad. And Mr. Taylor's the kind of guy who won't feel sorry for himself anyway. So with a minute 32, we have wholesale replacements now. You can see what's happened in this game just by the faces there.
It's quite an accomplishment, though, just to get to the final eight, the Elite Eight. Voss knocks down another free throw on the play, and Voss out of the ball game as Dan Coyne-Logan's going to check in for him.
Well, tonight, of course, we've got some more basketball for you as we whittle it down to the Final Four going into tomorrow. Breeze Mater Dei will kick it off early this evening against Lawrenceville. Lawrenceville, the only Illinois team to win 4 basketball championships in the entire state. And then it's Providence St. Mel. Billy Ball will be here tonight against PBL. Who's PBL? Well, you're going to find out. They're Paxton Buckley Loda. And they have surprised a lot of people. Will they surprise St. Mel? We'll find out right here on the IHSA television network. Cornellis quickly ahead. That is there, and the Pioneers score again.
Nice pass that time as Stock with a nice finish on the play, and Cornellis with a nice look.
Down to 55 seconds. The Alleman Pioneers came out, made sure that they got things settled.
Tyler Norman gets the hoop that time for Macomb.
Thank you. I lost my sheet. It's here somewhere. It's here somewhere. We're going to break away. We're wrapping things up this afternoon. Alleman's going to take it. They're up 59-43. One of your network sponsors is Ford. This afternoon's telecast brought to you by American Dairy. Play of the game. Here it is.
It's a defensive play, and who else would make the steal but Patrick Voss. Voss, a nice steal, takes it coast to coast, and a nice finish by Patrick Voss for Alleman.
And Paul Linden scores for the Pioneers there. Our play of the day was brought to you by the dairy farm families of Illinois and Wisconsin. Got milk? Long jumper outside will not fall for Chris Bush. And up ahead come the Pioneers. It's Linden. Oh, he didn't get that one to fall. Tip not there by Kevin McLean. And the Pioneers look like they're going to put a capper on this one without another shot being fired. Although down he goes, and it's Chris Bush. And we've got contact with about, well, I don't know if there's any time left.
I think D. Decker picked up the personal foul on the play.
Let's see if they'll shoot it or not. It doesn't matter. Dave Taylor's going to meet Larry Schulte at center court. And the Pioneers have advanced again to the semifinals. 61-43. We are coming back with a winning coach. One of your network sponsors is Zenith.
Through the ages, this shape has changed the way we travel, the way we play, and now the way we watch TV. Introducing the revolutionary Z-Track remote from Zenith. Just point, spin, and click. Television has never been easier to control. Zenith advanced video imaging sets, with colors more vivid and images more realistic than ever before. And now the simplicity of the new Z-Track remote. One more way Zenith is reshaping television.
Here's Larry Schulte, number 10, Mr. Voss, and number 1, Joe Passion.
All right, Jim, we've got our player of the game, Patrick Voss, and along with his coach, Larry Schulte, but I'm sure you're both concerned. Give us an update on the ankle. You went limping off there toward the end of the game.
It wasn't my ankle. My calves were cramping up, both of them. They cramped up really bad, and they'd go away, and they'd come right back, and they feel fine now, but I'm going to drink some water, and I'll be fine for tomorrow.
Well, it's a good thing that I'm not a doctor then, because otherwise you'd really be in trouble. A great game out there, and I thought that the ball movement really helped a lot. You led that attack particularly in the second half, to stay up by double figures. How did that all pan out?
We knew we needed to keep a good cushion because we knew they'd probably make a run at us. And we needed Trap to stay in the game because with him in the game, no one can stop him in the low post. So we just wanted to work the ball around and get him inside, and it all worked out. We kept a big lead, and that was the game.
Larry, one last thing before we run off here. What will you do to rest? You went through this routine last year. You know it works, and it almost worked for you last year.
Well, we got a little advantage in that we're in the upper bracket now, but so does Shelbyville have the same advantage, obviously. And we're pretty familiar with Shelbyville, and they are with us. We played them last year here in the quarterfinals, and we played them in the summertime. And so, you know, we got to do a lot of work as far as preparation. And he said Trapkus is unstoppable in the low post. Shelbyville probably has a little bit different ideas, but they've got two great low post players also.
Congratulations, guys. See you in the semis again. All right, Larry Schulte and the Pioneers are in the semifinals, and we will be back with more on our Class AA quarterfinal. The Pioneers over the Bombers, 61-43. We're back after these messages.
It's time to look at our DeKalb Scholar athlete. It is Jeremy Butcher of Macomb. Of course, Jeremy plans to attend college after high school. He's going to be part of the ROTC program and maybe become a conservation officer or a park ranger someday. Congratulations to him. DeKalb earning our way on more of your acres. Let's check out tonight's action. We're coming back with Game 3. Lawrenceville and Breeze Mater Dei should be a dandy. We'll hit the air at 6:30 right here live from Peoria, and that'll be followed, of course, by Billy Ball, PBE or PBL, excuse me, against Providence St. Mel. I get my initials all confused, but we'll be back ASAP later on tonight. For Joe Passion, for Greg Sterick and Dick Lutke, I'm Jim Albrecht. See you tonight, folks.